What happens when a woman who preached self-love, manifestation, and baby girl energy suddenly finds herself broke, broken, and begging for the very grace she once denied others? When your brand is built on boldness, but your soul is quietly breaking, reinvention isn't just about rebranding. It becomes survival. This is not a takedown. This is a soul check. A deep dive into the psychology of reinvention, spiritual reckoning, and why B. Simone's journey from Bloomingdale's to H&M is about more than clothes. It's about the internal bankruptcy that occurs when public validation outweighs private healing. Welcome to Serenity Soul Speaks, where I explore what it really means to heal out loud, especially when you hurt others in the process. Let's begin with the concept of reinvention. Reinvention is often romanticized as a glow-up, but the truth, real reinvention requires humility, inner work, and facing the very behaviors that led you to rock bottom. For B. Simone, her podcast seems to be a cry for a second chance, hence the title, Let's Try This Again. Yet, behind the soft lighting, emotional music, and tearful confessions lies a contradiction that cannot be ignored. Can you truly reinvent yourself without reckoning with who you were at your highest? One of the most pressing issues is the disconnect between how B. Simone publicly gives and how she privately withholds. A friend of hers who went through one of the most emotionally trying years of her life shared her truth. Her car had been repossessed, she was surviving on Medicaid and food stamps, she had to move back in with her parents, a single mother struggling to hold it together. And while she watched B. Simone give strangers and shower acquaintances with support and finances, she couldn't help but feel invisible in her own friends' eyes. It's painful when you see someone who claims to be a giver, someone you love, skip over your need as if your struggle isn't aesthetically pleasing enough to fit into their give back highlight reel. This friend's heartbreak exposed a theme in B. Simone's pattern, given to be seen, to maintain a brand image, but struggling to support those closest to her unless it serves a public narrative. That's not generosity, that's performance. And then there's the infamous journal scandal, a manifestation journal marketed as a deeply personal tool for self-transformation was revealed to be copy and pasted from other creatives. No credit, no originality, just a rush to monetize a trend. What's symbolic about this is not just the plagiarism, but what it says about spiritual bypassing, the act of selling healing when your own is incomplete. The rush to profit off of people's vulnerabilities without fully tending to your own. That journal became a metaphor for a larger issue, the packaging of empowerment without the practice of empathy. B. Simone's desire for the rapper dababy also revealed an inner pattern, yearning for emotionally unavailable men while dismissing the steady grounded ones. When she famously said she wouldn't date a 9-to-5 man, she was reinforcing the idea that worthiness was tied to status and hustle, not character and consistency. Now, years later, rewatch her cry on her podcast about financial hardships, confessing she can no longer afford Bloomingdale's and is now shopping at H&M. She speaks of her liquid assets drying up in a desire to be poured into the same way she poured into others. And here lies the irony. Many of the very people she dismissed, everyday 9-to-5 workers, blue-collar laborers, and friends in financial distress, have been living these realities in silence and shame for years. While B. Simone once mocked or excluded them from her dating pool or social status, she now wants to be embraced by the same crowd she once stood above. This isn't karma, it's clarity. What's most telling is her desire for public sympathy. She speaks about how she shows up for people and just wants to be loved the same way, but true love and support are reciprocal. It's not just about grand gestures for strangers or IG-worthy moments. It's about the quiet, everyday compassion shown to those who can't give you anything in return but their vulnerability. Parasocial relationships have played a huge role in shaping her public image. Fans who felt close to her through their screens are now watching a woman grappling with a fractured identity. Her inner child seems abandoned, still craving love from emotionally distant men, still trying to buy love through gifts or earn it through public sacrifice, while neglecting the accountability of private responsibility. So what does B. Simone truly need? Not more followers, not a rebrand, not another crime podcast episode. What she needs is deep inner work, shadow work, a confrontation with the parts of her that use generosity as a transaction, vulnerability as performance, and confidence as a mask for pain. She needs stillness, humility, therapy, maybe even distance from the spotlight long enough to stop performing and start becoming. It's easy to criticize someone like B. Simone, but if we're honest, many of us have been there, pouring into people who don't pour back, ignoring those who needed us most, trying to buy love through effort rather than healing our own wounds. The difference is, she did it in front of millions. Reinvention isn't about new podcasts or clothes or platforms. It's about becoming someone worthy of the forgiveness you seek. Someone whose private life speaks louder than their public apologies. Someone who uplifts friends when no one is watching. So B. Simone, if you're listening, yes, try this again, but this time from the inside out. Here on Serenity Soul Speaks, we hold space for growth, for truth, and for healing that doesn't skip steps. Because real transformation isn't glamorous, it's gritty. It's not a photo shoot, it's a process. And sometimes we have to lose the version of ourselves that was liked by many to find a version that is loved by one, our own soul. If you felt seen in this video, whether as the friend left behind or the one trying to reinvent themselves, comment below with the heart. Let's speak soul to soul in the comments below. See you in the next one.